everybody, and welcome to Critical Solutions Incorporated's channel. Just to let you guys know what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be running through company updates, industry updates, answering any questions you guys got for us. If you have any, don't be afraid to send them over. And of course, introducing members of the team. So who better to kick us off and get us running than Bob Munck, VP of Business Development. So Bob, you and I have had a good couple chats here, but what we really want to do is paint a picture of your past experience for people and really let them know what makes you tick. So first and foremost, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure to talk with you today.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Like I said, we've had some pre-conversations, but I really wanted to get this on record. So first and foremost, you have a lot of experience. What would you say really drives you to this industry? And tell us about some of the highlights.
Well, as far as this industry that I'm in with CSLI, we kind of took the approach where I have a whole background in finance and distributing monies and businesses and profit sharing, where we call it more on a wholesale basis. I came out of some very large companies like BorgWarner Acceptance and did a lot of things on a national basis, where the idea was like, you know, I could call on 500 people and have 500 accounts, or I could create 50 joint ventures and we could do 500 million worth of business. Well, yeah. CSLI has the same thought, where we wanted to go into a couple different industries that were young and fledgling and are looking for growth. And the growth is that it's financial, that they want to grow. One was in the real estate business always grows, and there's different ways to grow. And we decided to look on that sector, where I have, because of my experience being involved as a mortgage banker for years, can buy first trustee notes at a large discount from what they call tier one level. Those are people that go to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and large banks like B of A or Wells Fargo, and they buy notes from them, both performing and non-performing, but they buy them at a discount. Usually at a large discount, maybe 40%, but tier one means you have to be $100 million player. Well, if you're a small guy with $1 million, you're not going to get that same discount or so forth. However, because of our backgrounds and the way we run things, I have access to tier one purchase, and I can buy through people I know $1 million or $2 million worth of notes at the same price discount that he buys 100 million at.
Wow.
That makes us effective. So I have access to things because of that. That's one area that we look at. The other area that we look at is in the licensed cannabis industry that has grown. There's obviously a lot of money and cash flow because we're located out on the West Coast in California. Southern California sells more and has more license and more volume of sales than any other place in the world. Okay, out of the whole industry, the Mecca center is California, Southern California. So the businesses and the industry has its inherent problem. It's new, it's being licensed. Banking's an issue. There's different things that are happening, but it continues to grow and continues to get licensed across the United States because that's a source of revenue and capital. And there's a lot of things that they're discovering about different isolates, as they call it, out of the chemistry of cannabis.
Yeah.
And what is happening. So we decided to come alongside to people, because what we're really good at doing is we know public companies, we know how to buy one, we know how to do what the term would be called reverse merger. So if I go to a company that's on income, cash flowing, and he wants to expand, we can do a reverse merger with him, show him how to have and work with investors' monies. And while we help him with our team, it's like a turnkey system. For example, you're busy doing XYZ business, and that XYZ business, you're making a couple million a year and you're grossing 10 million, but you want to double it. Well, you're busy doing that. If I say, hey, let's do a reverse merger, you don't know anything about running a public company, the compliance issues, the finance issues,
Fair.
everything that's involved takes a lot. Our company has a whole team of experts, lawyers, auditors, compliance people, and we're together do a merger. Out of that, CSLI gets some ownership of your company, but we also get cash flow. And it allows me to come in and finance maybe different investments or contracts you have, and we get part of that contract, that profit. That allows us with minimal overhead to get a great return on the money. And that's the idea. The idea is like if we have 50 of those or 5 of those, I don't need 500 clients. I need 5 good clients that have their own overhead, their own company, and their own network. We just attach ourselves to it and we become partners. They run the business, they run the checking account, they do all that stuff. We consult and help them run their public company till they're confident in running them themselves. In the meantime, we own stock and we look for profit sharing opportunities while we do that, Michael.
Yeah, Bob, it's interesting how much you play with these fundamentals of business, and you're really a heavy hitter in the field. Again, like you're talking about moving hundreds of millions of dollars around when you're with your past experience. And I'm curious because, as you said previously, you're kind of a maverick in that you really like getting into new industries. You like
Yes.
messing around with those. So tell me the story of how you actually wound up with CSLI. Tell me that. Like what drew you to it?
Oh, okay. I actually, I did a lot in the mortgage banking business.
Mhm.
And then what I did in the 2004 and 2005, I ran what we call a brokerage that I own that sold retail loans, both industrial, commercial, and what we call house loans, your mortgage on your house.
Yeah.
And I knew a lot of people in the industry, did a lot, we did well, did a lot of loans, but there was changes happening in the industry and I was looking for something a little more exciting, frankly, because I had done it for 25 years.
Yeah.
And so I sold the business. And in that, I looked around for other things to do. And as I did, I started to come across uh, uh, with a nonprofit, we were helping people. And with that individual, he had a public company. And in that public company, he did reverse mergers. Well, I understood the concept of reverse mergers because I was involved in a few companies marketing wise when I was in the hedge fund business and finance, that I saw how that worked and what it meant. So we got real interested together, and this opportunity to buy CSLI came across our table. So we took that on. And at the same time, we had people out of the real estate and the cannabis industry looking for to do a reverse merge that were cash flowing. So over the last couple years, those things started to evolve and develop, and we put it together, and we now have CSLI. We've been doing this CSLI's about a couple years that we've owned it, and there's a lot of things you have to do to get it ready to trade, and as they call it, it's on the OTC, over the counter, penny stocks. And we cleaned everything up and got everything right so that it was pink and tradable. And then we started looking at other companies to bring in and merge those and cash flow and bring contracts. And that's what we're presently doing now. And now we want to take it to the next stage, and we want to let people out there know that we're profitable and we're expanding.
Wonderful. Bob, I think on the next video, let's do a deeper dive into really breaking down the story for people and letting them know why this is a good investment opportunity. But last but not least today, what I would like to get from you is, what are you most excited for, say over the course of the next year for CSLI?
What I'm excited for is that we have this kind of turnkey service that we can bring financing, and we can bring a team of experts kind of in a turnkey situation. And we can take that company that's really good at making money
Mhm.
in their industry, and we can show them how to merge and become a public company or do profit sharing with us through the financing. And what I really like is both in the licensed cannabis and real estate, because real estate is always evolving, because there's a velocity of money that involves that. Right now, it's doing well. It goes through cycles. It goes up and down. And the cannabis is a very fledgling industry, becoming more legitimized across the United States, more licensed, more bankable as it goes along. And we're really excited because there's a lot of business, Wall Street, a lot of people with a lot of experience looking at those and becoming involved in that. It's no longer just a cottage industry, as we call it, where it's a mom and pop. And you have a guy with a farm up in Humboldt County that grows 20 acres of cannabis,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's way involved. There's a lot of science. There's a lot of pharmaceutical. There's a lot of things globally happening, and we'd like to be part of that because it's evolving and growing to help people.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, cannabis is definitely an industry where it's completely changing as it's maturing. As you said, it's getting incredibly scientific. You're seeing all sorts of new technologies around them. We're really great quality control now. You're seeing some amazing, innovative discoveries in it. And
Yes.
so, all right, Bob. Well, thank you. Listen, so much. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Do you have any last words you want to share with people before we go?
Yes. There's especially when you look at the cannabis industry, people have these kind of images that are created by society,
Mhm.
and the images of you say cannabis or pot or weed or whatever it is, and they get the thought of, oh, hey, we're meeting in the back of a bar, guy's opening his trunk, he's taking
Yeah.
out some stuff, and for $20 you're buying a smoke. It's nothing about that. That's what
Wow.
I found as a business. There's companies that are doing isolates that are natural. They're not filled with any THC. You don't get high from it.
Mhm.
That it becomes a sleep aid. It's helping older people. The science and the medical part of this industry is exponentially growing.
Yeah.
So, and it comes from licensed cannabis because it has to be legal to work on it.
Yeah.
So the R&D is expanding tenfold. It reminds me of the tech industry when when nobody knew what Google was. Nobody knew what there was a path, or the first emails came up and the computer industry. Well, that's what I love about this. It's similar, and it's not the guy in the back trunk, in a bowling alley doing $20 worth of a deal. It's somebody in a scientific lab, supported by the way, a lot of pharmaceutical companies through private industry, to do advanced research medically to isolate different things that help the human body.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we're as you said, the whole Hollywood idea has been well painted by things such as Cheech and Chong and things like that.
Yeah, there you
But
go. Yeah, the big smoke.
exactly. But no, this is happening in scientific labs. As you said, like the amount of applications for cannabis as a whole are humongous. I mean, as you said, you're talking sleep aids, you're talking pain relief, talking anxiety relief, you're talking appetite
Yes,
suppressant, you're talking all sorts of things that
it's
have.
become on the fringe of in the wellness field.
Yeah, there you go.
And the image is changing to the wellness field from the get high field, okay?
Yeah.
Or the recreational side of, oh, wow, you know, like Cheech and Chong,
Exactly.
to the wellness where there's scientists, PhDs, and I mean millions of dollars of research advancing. And I'm part of that. We're part of that. We look at companies like that to expand, because when you have something that expands, there's a term called velocity of money. That means if I put $1 or $10 in it, how many times will it change through the industry? And if it's a good industry, that $10 changes, goes through hands. But guess what? it increases the profit.
Hmm.
So you have what we call vertical mines of velocity of money, and that's what CSLI does. We look for the mining, a vertical thing, so that every $10 that go through, what becomes our percentage? So if we do one thing, it becomes 10%. If I do three things, it becomes 40%, Michael.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting for you to go through, and you're really teaching a lot of people these new terms that they may not be familiar with, but we do appreciate it. So, Bob, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to doing a lot more of these videos with you. You got something else? You got something else you want to add?
No, I just want to say thank you very much. It's my pleasure talking with you, and thank you for helping us spread the word.
Wonderful. Like I said, it's been wonderful talking to you so far. Look forward to more. And everybody, thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out and let us know. But until next time, stay tuned, and we'll happily get another video across to you soon over the wire. Bob.
Have a great day.